How's it going, everybody? Chris here with Vartor Pedals. So, today I got a little treat especial for you. I just got done with this guy yesterday evening. This is a pedal that was built off of the AionFX Quadratron board, which is kind of a clone of the Love Tone Doppelganger. It's a really mellow pedal. It's kind of like a vibrato phaser. You get like kind of like an auto wah situation in some settings. It's kind of a crazy little pedal, but it's really, really, really mellow. So I wanted to make the video to hopefully show you kind of what it can do, even though you're probably not going to get a great idea of its tone through like this phone's microphone. Sorry about that, but I wanted to do it. Anyway, so what this pedal is, it's got two LFOs, low frequency oscillators, right? And you can see, bam, bam. That's the rate that they're going right now. And if I come up on, yeah, there we go. Then if I come up on, I can get it crazy, crazy, all the way down to almost like once a second kind of thing, right? We also have this slow button here. I can slow it down way down, like 30 seconds apart from each other. Yeah. So anyway, so you've got those, and you've got a low frequency and a high frequency span control here, right? Then you've got control color, which is kind of going to be your tone, and blend you can think of as kind of like your volume, right? I've already showed you the slow. We've also got square here. So with this in the down position, the wave it's giving is a sine wave, really smooth sine wave. If I click it over into square, it gives you a square wave. So in the sine wave, it kind of tapers out and back in with these LFOs. Whereas with square, it's on, off, on, off, on, off, right? We also have an LFO cancel, which basically cancels out. It basically turns off the LFOs, which is somewhat different than going into bypass. And then you have an anti-phase. You can see now they're alternating. If I click it down, they alternate, they go together, they sync up. And then you have vibrato, which is almost exactly what it says, right? You have your regular bypass foot switch, and then you have dual LFO, where this really brings in this LFO number 2. Let me go back to anti-phase. And that's where you're really going to get control with the second LFO, right? Without dual LFO, you're really only going to get LFO 1 controlling things, and it just oscillates back between each other, right? So anyway, let's give you some clean tones on the guitar here. I apologize in advance because I am not a guitar player, and yes, I'm barefoot. That's it. That is my foot you just saw. I'm just sitting here on the floor. So yeah, let's try it out. So that's your clean tone, right? Let's go on in there. Let's get it anti-phase, so we're kind of got oscillating going on. yeah, that's basically it. Like I said, I am not a guitar player. I suck on guitar. I can just noodle around with a couple of chords here and there. So forgive me. Um, but yeah, so that's that pedal. But what I really got you here for is something else. Something I'm pretty proud of. So let me pause the video and get set up for that, and I'll bring you back. Well, what do we have here? Something that says prototype Labyrinth. Wonder what that could be. Huh. We've got 3 knobs, distortion, tone, and volume. It kind of reminds you of a rat. But we got 2 extra things. What are those about? Well, let me tell you. This is my own custom circuit. You know, I've been building a ton of pedals, and you can see on the board, and they're all based off of like pedal PCB or AionFX or other things, right? Well, I wanted to try my hand at learning this circuit. I wanted to try my hand at learning KiCad and schematic design and circuit design and PCB design. So I took it upon myself to learn that by trying to make my own pedal. And that's what I've done here. And honestly, I'm pretty happy about it. So what do we have? Well, you've got your distortion, tone, and volume. It's basically a rat, right? But down here, I've got a toggle switch, on, right? This toggle switch toggles between 2 different values in the low pass filter area of the rat circuit. So that in the up position, you have more of a brighter, almost stock rat kind of tone. But in the low position, it really takes out a lot of those highs and gets things muddier and grungier. My whole goal with this circuit was to make what I would consider to be the perfect doom, thrash, maybe not thrash, but death metal rat. And I wanted to do it for relatively cheaply. Okay? Then we have this right here. This is a 4-way selector. Now, the regular rat circuit just has 2 diodes in the clipping stage. Well, I've got a selection for 4 different clipping stages. Right here we have germanium, and that is going to be your symmetric germanium diodes. And for these, I've selected very specifically D9V diodes. Out of a lot of testing, I bought a ton of germanium diodes. And the D9Vs that I chose is what I thought sounded the best. This clipping stage, the germanium stage, really muddies things up, right? Just like germanium does. It gets really warm and muddy and just, yeah, right? Now, you've probably seen pedals like the EQD Life pedal. I mean, I've even made my own clone of that. And I gotta admit, I took the idea for this selectable clipping stage directly from the pedal PCB clone of the Life pedal. Okay? It is almost the exact same circuit. But what I have done, I've changed out the diode values for the clipping stage. So for asymmetric and symmetric, usually when you see that, it's going to be all the same types of diodes, whether it be like 1N 5817s or 1N 914s or whatever, right? I didn't want to do that, but I wanted to have each one of these selections to be its own voice. If you just use the same diode, say 1N 914s in symmetric and asymmetric, they sound pretty similar to each other, right? But I didn't want to do that. So I bucked that trend. I chose two wildly different diode setups for the asymmetric and the symmetric. And then we have optical. This is kind of like a turbo mode. I believe there's a pedal out there like the Turbo Rat or something like that that has a selection like this. It utilizes three LEDs on the board as clipping diodes. LEDs are diodes. So yeah, I did all of that, and I'm going to show you, this is the gut shot of it. That's the board that I designed in KiCad. You can see the diode clipping stages here, right? Even designed my own 3D, my own foot switch board. So let me turn this thing on for you and get you some tones out of it. Just like last time, I'm going to give you some clean tones. You can tell just in that filter select the difference. So that's from the germanium stage. Let's go over to the asymmetric. Symmetric. So here's symmetric. Here's asymmetric. And then optical. So yeah, That's what it is. You know, it's not earth-shattering, it's not groundbreaking, it's derivative as all hell, but it's mine. I did this, and I like this. And like I said, I cannot play guitar for shit, but this makes me want to play guitar. This makes me want to do it. This makes me want to learn it. Now, I'm doing a run of 10 of these prototypes. The first and the last I'm going to keep for myself. 2 more are going to be going to the guitarists in a band that I know in the Atlanta area, a hardcore metal band. Another one is going to be going to another friend of mine overseas, and another one going to another musician. They're all going to musicians with the express purpose of getting critical feedback on this pedal. What they may like, what they may not like, what maybe can be changed, if anything. And eventually, I want to do a small run as a first release of production level pedals like this. And I'm going to shoot for a price that is incredibly competitive in the market. I've seen boutique rat style pedals go for north of $200, and I think that is ridiculous. So I'm going to be aiming for a price of 120 bucks. That's like 20, 30 bucks more than a stock brand new rat from the store. You know, that's what I'm aiming for. And I think I can do that. And if it comes out to be something that people like, awesome. I'm there for it. But if it's just an exercise in, you know, doing something and learning something, I'm okay with that too, right? Now, it did say I was making 10 prototypes. That means I'm going to have 2 that are going to be, they'll be up for sale, actually. I think I've just decided that. And I'll sell those. I'll sell these at 120 bucks. And it'll be hand built, just like this, numbered, the date it was made. And then on the bottom case, you know, I always do this to my bottom cases. I sign them, put what they are, the number, the date, and a little hail yourself. So if you're interested, you want to try it out, hit me up. If not, pass it along, you know? So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this with you because I am so happy and so proud of this little guy right here. I mean, I cannot tell you how proud I am of it. As a first pedal project to come out the way I wanted it to. You can see I already have the very first one I built as a permanent fixture on my DIY board. So anyway, I hope y'all have a great day. And if you're not, I hope that your tomorrow's even better. Or your tomorrow's just better. If you're going through something, I'm sorry for that. Reach out. Reach out to me or to your loved ones, your friends. Talk to somebody. Whatever it is you may be going through, you don't have to do it alone. No one should. You know, you shouldn't feel like you have to do it alone. So take care of yourselves. Watch out for each other. Help each other. Love each other. And be there. All right, guys. Love you. Hail yourself.